What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Let's jump into this video. Today we're going to be covering 5 tips for Call of Duty and how you can hopefully improve your KD and your game and hopefully win more matches. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, so maybe you got Black Ops Cold War or another Call of Duty Modern Warfare or something older for Christmas, and you're really struggling, you're not doing very well, you wanted to get better at multiplayer. Well, I got 5 tips for you today that are hopefully going to take your game to a next level, and hopefully you can win more games, the most important thing, right? Tip number 1 is going to be to stick to the edges and your spawn, obviously, but stick to the edges of the map. In Cold War, maps like Moscow and Cartel have a really wide map range, and if you stick to those far edges, you're going to run into fewer people, which is going to put you at an advantage, but you're also protecting, 25 to 50% of your body by using the edge of the map where someone can't shoot you from that direction. So use the map to your advantage, play those edges, especially if you're having a game where you're really struggling, go towards the edges of the map. Running into the middle puts you in places where you can just get crossfired from so many different directions, and it just puts you at an extreme disadvantage where you're not going to possibly be able to identify every target before you get killed. So stick to the edges, limit your exposure, and you're going to come across fewer people, but ultimately you're going to be better off for it. Tip number 2 is going to be don't sprint. Just don't use the sprint button. I know Call of Duty is a fast-paced arcade-style shooter, but let's avoid sprinting, at least for your first few games or for a little bit until you can get the feel better. The amount of time it's going to take you from walking to aiming to shooting is going to be less than someone that's sprinting, right? They're sprinting, they have to bring their gun up, and then they have to aim, and that extra time that you're going to gain by not sprinting could allow you to kill them before they kill you. It puts you at a little bit of an advantage when you come to meet another player on the enemy team, so go ahead and try and not sprint. Don't have to do it forever, but at least until you can get your feet under you on the game. Number 3, related to the previous 2 points, let's stick to long sight lines. We talked about sticking to the edge of the map. Checkmate, there's some long sight lines on the side of the map where you can get behind a barrel, you can sight your gun up, and you can just chill. So you're on the side of the map, part of you is covered from getting shot from the side, and you've already aimed your gun. You've put yourself at the maximum advantage that you can get over another player because you're already aiming and ready to fire. You don't have to take the time to stop sprinting, to aim, and to shoot. You can just start shooting. Now, you could hip fire. Hip fire is a huge part of using subs and some of the shorter range guns in this game. But, if you're on a long sight line, you've put yourself at a huge advantage. You're hopefully keeping the enemy further away from you as well because you've put a lot of space between you and the places that they might be coming from. So, pick a long sight line, stay there, kind of just stick to that area, camp that area. Don't forget to check your sides, especially if you hear gunfire or see things going on, make sure you're checking what's going on around you, but let's hold those long sight lines, should put you at the advantage. Number 4, and this is one that even I struggle with as somebody that's been playing Call of Duty for 15, 20 years. Pick a gun and stick with it, especially when you first get the game. The worst thing that you can do is be like, oh, I'm not doing well, let's switch guns, and switch guns and classes, 4 or 5 different times throughout the match. Now, that's not necessarily like a bad thing. It may be important to counter the strategy of the enemy team. If they're playing a certain way, the gun you pick to start with may not be ideal. However, if you're new to the game and you're still gaining experience or haven't been playing very well, sticking with that one gun, play 20 matches, 50 matches with it, and you'll get comfortable with how it plays, how it feels, how quickly you can aim. You'll figure out what attachments you may or may not like on it. If you combine that with number 3, where you're holding long sight lines, pick something like an M16 or one of the light machine guns like the Stoner, and you're going to be putting yourself in a position where you're more likely to kill the enemy team. You're at a long sight line, you've got a gun that's going to kill quickly, and if they come running around the corner with a sub or a shotgun or even a sniper, if they're not ready for you, you're going to be at the advantage. So pick a long sight line, pick a gun that matches with it, and just stick with that for a while until you really feel comfortable. I know a huge part of this game and what's enticing in the multiplayer is to grind for camos, diamond and dark matter, and it's going to take you switching guns at some point to work on that. But let's get the basics of the game down first let's get comfortable with one gun and one class, and once you start playing well, then you can start thinking about branching out. Number 5, the last one I would say, is keep your kill streaks low. This game did change how score streaks work a little bit, where you're not going to reset every time you die, so you could pick a little bit higher kill streaks, but it's still highly dependent on killing lots of enemy players, but also getting a few streaks of 4, 5, 6 kills in a row to really get some of those high-end kill streaks. So let's avoid all that. Let's stick to, UAV, counter UAV, maybe even the combat bow at the bottom end. And I'd highly encourage you to use the care package. That is, rolling the dice and hoping you come out with something really great. And all of a sudden, you get a gunship, you get a chogo, and you're able to rack up some kills from a low kill streak, essentially. I'd encourage you to run low kill streaks and especially use care package. It's going to maximize, your fun in the game, because you're going to get to try some of those high-end kill streaks that you may not be able to get to if you just set them as a kill streak normally. So use those low score streaks, use the care package, and have some fun. All right, guys, so that's my 5 tips, some very basic starter tips for Call of Duty. Again, maybe you just got the game for Christmas, you're brand new, and you're trying to figure out, why am I going 2 and 20 every game? Let's put some of these into practice and they should help you out. So to recap really quick, 1 is to stick to the edges of the map. 2 is to don't sprint, slow it down, play at a slower pace. Number 3 is to sit at some long sight lines and put yourself at the advantage. 4, let's pick a gun and stick with it. Let's just stick with a gun, play 20 matches, see how it feels, and maximize your ability and get comfortable with that weapon. Lastly, number 5, use low kill streaks, especially care package, to maximize your output and get the most kills that you can while not riskily running high kill streaks that you may not get. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys have any other tips for beginner players. I'd love to assimilate some of those together. Maybe I can do another video, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. What are some of your tips for new players in Call of Duty? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just a reminder that I do stream on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, around 9 p.m. Mountain Time. Come by, hang out, see if I'm using these tips or not. I tend to get a little stubborn and smash my sub against the wall of enemy players and kill myself a bunch of times. But hey, come in the chat, call me out if I'm not following these, or if you have any other questions for me, feel free to stop by. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Check out some of my other videos, and we'll catch you guys next time. Hi, Harrison.